all the time. And
Oh, you got to rewind and start over. Say it again, because I wasn't recording. First of all, congratulations. I'm gonna do my whole spiel again too. It feels good. Yeah, that was one of my songs. That was one of my songs at my wedding. So that's why I love that song too. But but go ahead. So say what you gotta say.
So guys, I tell you to listen to Mr. Tinsley and get familiar with your calculator, because if I didn't come on this program and listen to Mr. Tinsley, learn how to use the calculator with the tables for the slope, I wouldn't have passed, because that has been my problem all along for all the times that I took it. So I'm telling you guys, it has been a rough road, but if I did it, you can.
And then I didn't know you had taken it 6 times. So the seventh time.
No, this was
charm.
the 6th time.
This is 6 times. Okay, so
yes.
5 times before. So I told you, listen. I tell most people, I say, listen. It's no 100% guarantee, but what I tell most people is like, listen. If you go through that ebook, because the linear equations, I look at almost everybody's practice test who comes to the sessions. Most of everybody's issues are the first 5 linear equations and functions. So if you learn how to use that calculator, especially for the linear equations, it'll knock off like 20 minutes, 30 minutes on your exam. So the fact that you passed at the this is the 6th time. Listen, congratulations.
And guys, once you put in an answer, do not go back and change it unless you rework it and you say, all right, this is the answer. Because that's what I've been doing all along. And I sent you one and I changed the answer from 13 to 131, and I got it wrong because I shouldn't have changed. I had the right answer.
Well, listen, we don't cry over spilled milk. Yeah. You pass. We ain't got listen, you because I saw your little image, you did it. And I said, oh, that was her last test. So I didn't know that.
Yes.
Listen, I was away at the Poconos with no reception, and I was trying to post your stuff. My wife was like, we on vacation, would you stop?
Yes, man, I really appreciate it, Mr. Tinsley, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I think I sent you an email to like review on Facebook or comment on any videos.
I just went on it. I just went and let me tell you what it's saying, because I didn't get through.
Practice problem. I might maybe because I'm practice problem.
It is saying sorry, this page isn't available.
Okay.
The link you followed may be broken, or the page may have been removed.
I'll check it. I'm trying to find. I did a professional development for students who were taking it in the prisons, and I got a perfect problem and I can't find it. Where is it? Let me see. I might have to. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna have to do is this. Let me pause the recording for a second. The first one was Robert. Let me find it. It was a graph, correct?
Yeah.
And again, these practice tests are all practice tests I created, so I can show these without any issues. So, so this is what I need everybody to look at very carefully. On this problem, you got to notice. Let me get my pen. The x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the x-axis can
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
Hold on. Oh, what is going on? How about now?
Yeah, I see it now.
I don't know what just happened there. Okay, so let me get my pen. First of all, if you look at the x-axis, and this is the y-axis here, right? If you look at it, the tick marks are only giving you major tick marks. So I'm going to give you 5 and 10. What you have to realize, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the x-axis, the scale is going by ones. But if you look at the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going by twos. So this here would be 2, 3. So this y is -3. So your x would be 0, but your y would be -3 because the scale on the y-axis is going by 2s. Got me?
Okay.
So this is 2, this is 4, this is 6, this is 8, and this is 10. So at times on the higher set and test, and sometimes on the GED, your scale won't be ones. They might be 10s, it might be 100s, and they might have various scales for X and Y. So you got to look at those minor tick marks and major tick marks to make sure what your scale is. So I wanted to go over that because some people miss when they're doing slope. Like for example, this one you can't do the slope in because you know that. But if you were doing slope, you got to make sure, like for this point, you know what I mean? This is 10, this is -3. So it had to be a little different when you take the difference between the Y's and your X's. All right. Now,
Okay.
the next question was about the mode. Okay, so let me give an example more. Again, this is another practice test on my site, so I can use it the way I want to use it. So again, this is a set of numbers. Now here, the mode is just what number appears the most. So mode, since 76 appears the most, your mode would be 76. You barely see mode on the GED, but the high set and task, you will see the mode. But most for the GED, I really haven't seen mode. Now, say for example, one of these 76s wasn't here, right? And all these numbers appear just one time. In this case, there is no mode if everything just appears once. Okay. Now, if something appears more than once, so say for example, I had 89, 89, 76, 76, and 71. Well, 89 appears twice, 76 appears twice. So your mode would actually be two numbers, 76 and 89. Okay, but you don't really have to worry about the mode. So that was Robert Earl's question. That was Latasha's question. Anybody else that had a question on a practice test or a quiz or something they had they taken during the week? Because a lot of people been doing some work this week, especially over the weekends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 people tested over the weekend. Not 18 people, but 18 quizzes or tests were taken over the weekend. So first of all, I want to give a little clap to you because that means a large part of the group been, working really hard. So any other questions before I move on?
Yeah, but Mr. Cortez, when you show me that chart, right? I'm not supposed to move I can't move the dots, right? I just got to calculate and see where.
No, you're not moving them. So in that question, I think I might have closed it. Let me see. In that question, they're just asking the coordinates. So you don't have to move anything. So for example, my X here is 4. My Y, since this scale is 2, would be -2. This point here would be 0. This is 2. So halfway in between is 3. So that'd be -3. This one here will be, again, your X's is going by 1s. So your X is 1. Your Y is 2, 4, 5. So -1 and 5. Because the scale is different for the Y-axis. Each one is going by 2s, not 1.
Okay. So I think I got that one right.
Okay.
Okay.
No, you got that one incorrect. That's the one you answered right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Also, absolute value. Let me go to a blank page for absolute value. Absolute value is fairly easy. Oh, shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. I just closed everything down. Blank page. So absolute value. Does anybody know what absolute value is first? Can somebody tell me the definition of absolute value?
It's always positive.
Positive.
It is always positive, but is that the definition of what the absolute value is?
Mm-mm.
So absolute value is the distance away from zero. So I'm gonna give you a real life example. This is a path mark right here. This is path mark. Oh no, path mark don't even exist no more. But I'm gonna say path mark, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Earl's house, right? So if you look at a number line, this will be a +5. This will be a -5, correct? But would you say, Earl, you live -5 blocks away from the supermarket?
No.
No, you would say, even though we live in different directions, we still live 5 blocks away from the supermarket. That's what they mean. So when you on the GED, they're going to ask you the distance between two numbers. The distance between two numbers can never be negative. The absolute value of a number can never be negative.
And they give you those 2 bars too, right?
Yeah. So for example, let me show you an example. Let me see if I got one. They don't have one there. Let me see if they got one here. I'm not sure. Absolute value, because I wouldn't spend too much time on it. You're only gonna have one problem at the most. So I wouldn't spend too. No, that's undefined. Let me see. So here, the points -4 and 5 are plotted on the number line. What is the distance? So I'm gonna change the multiple choice though. I'm gonna change these answers. Okay. And what they've been doing recently is they've been using the absolute value in the answers. So for example, they're gonna have 4 minus 5. Let's put -4 plus 5. Let's put -4 minus 5. And then let's put I don't know, -4 plus 10. I don't know. I don't make it the last one up. What you have to understand is on this number line, okay, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First of all, you're counting the distance between those two numbers. That's not hard. You're just counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the distance between these 2 points is 9. What they want to see, though, is do you know how to represent that in an absolute value? So, again, think of absolute value like parentheses. Oh, am I recording? I think I paused. Did I ever put it back on? No, yeah, I did. So, again, so the absolute value of 4 minus 5. Well, 4 minus 5 is -1. So the absolute value of -1 is 1. In fact, let me change my color real quick so we can see the difference. Let me change it to black. So the absolute value of -1 is 1. -4 plus 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. So the absolute value of 1 is 1. Here, -4 minus 5. The absolute value of -9 is 9. The absolute value of -4 plus 10, that's absolute value of 6 is 6. But you already know because you counted the distance between the 2 points as 9. So you're looking for the absolute value that worked out to 9, which is, let me turn back the red, that option right there. That's one of the first 5. They always have the distance between 2 numbers on the exam. Some absolute value or this is between 2 numbers. It's one of the most missed questions on the GED exam. But what I'm telling you is if this question asks you, what is the distance between these 2 points? Any negative numbers, get rid of. Because your answer cannot be negative. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions? Oh. Let me see. We did area and perimeter. What other questions? Any other questions? Okay, so I'm you kind of use this example. I actually like this example to show to you. So I'm going to pause the recording right now. You won't be able to go over this again, but you'll be able to see it while I do it. So let me pause the recording for a second. Okay. So hopefully that'll help. I actually had that question asked numerous times. That's probably, that problem right there is probably one of the most asked questions. Okay. The second one I want to show you, and Claudette brought it up, is I wanted to mention it again. Okay. One of the things you want to be able to do. Oh, I can't show it on this one because it's 3 different pages.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, that's the one I got wrong. I do not understand it.
Yes, I got one like this too.
It's hold on, let me see if I can find it on the internet. Let me see. Hold on, let me find
I think it's in the eBook, Mr. Tinsley.
No, not that question. It's similar.
Yeah.
GED.
It's on one of his
Like
tests, but it's,
Yeah. I try to prepare you. Listen, I try to prepare you for every single question you possibly gonna get. Like seriously, if you get in there and you really use my practice test, you're gonna be ready for the exam. I'm telling you. Let's see. Here we go, right here. All right, let's look at this question. Let's find this question. Now, again, this is a resource offered by GED. Use their resource. Here we go, right here. Okay, so first of all, it's a multi-level question. A scientist is studying a red maple tree growth in a state park. Now, even though this is a scientist, remember, math is science. So this type of question could be on the science exam or the math exam. A scientist is studying red maple tree growth in a state park. She measured, hold on. What did Mr. Tinsley tell me? Mr. Tinsley told me to read the question first. Look at the graphs first. So all that reading sometimes is wasting your time. Not all the time, but read the question first. So the scientist plots the data for tree 2 on a coordinate grid. She begins by plotting data for year 3 and year 11. What are the locations of the 2 points on the coordinate grid? Well, guess what? I don't even need that first paragraph. Look at that. Watch this. The scientist plots data for tree 2. That's telling you what table I'm looking at. I'm not looking at tree 1 right now. I'm only looking at tree 2. She begins by plotting data for year 3 and 11. So year 3 and 11. I need to plot those points. So again, this is what you were talking about early, Earl. So let me scroll down. Oops, that Marcus had to go down. I want 3, 12. So 3 is my X. I go up to my 12. Boom, that's my first point. My second point, 11 and 14.4. 11, I'm going to go up to 14.4. So 14.4 is about the middle between 14 and 15. Bam. That's an easy question. And guess what? Most people get this question wrong. Why? Because they plot the points from tree 1. Read the question first. Identify your givens first. Pay attention to detail. Most people are rushing through. Take your time. It's an easy question. All right, let's go to the second part. So I'm gonna go to the next question, and I'm gonna send this link to you in the chat, because this is a test. This is a practice test. Now, I heard a couple people say, "Oh my God, this problem is hard. I can't." Listen, watch this. Listen to this. Watch this. Again, read the question first. The scientist creates an equation. They want a linear equation that models her data for each tree so she can predict the diameter in the future. Complete a linear equation that fits the data for tree 1, where X is the year and Y is the trunk diameter. So hold on. Again, identify your givens. We don't want anything, we're not doing anything with trunk 2, tree 2. My year is my X, my trunk diameter is my Y. This is the tables we've been seeing. We should know that in order for an equation of a line or to find the slope of a line, how many points do we need?
2.
2. So I'm gonna grab any 2 points. I'm gonna grab these 2 right here. You should know by now to find the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is from your formula sheet. Now, if you went through my ebook, you should know all you got to do is 19.2 minus 18.6, which is going to give you 0.6. 3 minus 1 is going to give you 2. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley, you didn't plug anything? Why 2? Well, no, I didn't, because I know I only need 2 points. So I'm just taking the difference between any 2 points between the y's and the x's. So 19.2 minus 18.6. You should know 12 minus 6 is 6.6. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now, if you don't know, be sure plugging into your calculator. Now, so my slope is 0.3. You should know because Mr. Tinsley has tells you 1,000 times y equal mx plus b. So all they want you to do is y equal mx. Well, m is 0.3, 0.3x. So you got the first part. Because we know m is the slope. Because Mr. Tinsley been saying m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Now, okay, so I know my equation starts with y equal 0.3x, then something else. So one of the other things that I told you is how to find, if you're given a point in the slope, how to find the y-intercept. Okay, so let me erase some of the stuff on the left because we found the slope already. Now we got to find the y-intercept.
Yeah.
Okay, again, these problems look difficult. I'm trying to make them as easy as possible. Watch this. So now, how do you find the equation of a line if you given the point in the slope? Again, y equal mx plus b. You're starting right there. I'm going to take this point right here. So my y is 18.6.
Yeah.
My slope is 0.3. I just calculated my slope is 0.3.
Yep.
The reason why I chose the first point, because I know anything times 1 is itself. So
Yep.
x is 1
Yeah.
plus b. Watch how easy this is. Watch this. 18.6 equal 0.3 plus b. I need to get b by itself. So I need to get rid of the 0.3. So minus 0.3. Whatever I do to one side, I do on the other. And again, you should know how to subtract decimals. If not, put it in your calculator. 18.3. Bring down my equal. My 0.3s cancel. Bring down my b. My y-intercept is 18.3. So now, the second part of that, I got my equation. Y equal 0.3x plus 18.3. Now,
Wow.
that still took us 3 to 4 minutes. Now, if you purchase my ebook, I'll show you how to do this in 15 seconds. You grab your calculator, let me clear everything out. Bam, bam, bam. And this is why I'm telling you, spend some time in that book. Right. Data. Oops. Let me clear everything out. Clear it, go right from the beginning. Well, that's my son. He's sick. Oh, my. I gotta call him back. Okay, data. Bam. What's my x's? Any 2 points, 1 and 3. 1, enter, 3, enter. Go to my y's. What's my y's? 18.6 and 19.2. Stop playing. 19.2. I'm telling you, stop playing. I'm telling you, if you got the ebook, go through it, because this is how fast you can be done. Calculate. Boom. Go down to A and B. Stop playing. Oh, did I skip A and B? I must have skipped them too
Oh,
fast.
keep going down.
I went
Keep
too
going down.
fast. Did I go? Did I miss it? Did I miss it?
Oh,
Did
you
I
didn't
miss
miss
it?
it.
There we go. Look at that right there. I am done the problem. That's my slope. That's my y-intercept. Y equal 0.3x plus 18.3. Done.
Oh, I didn't know you can put them in your calculator.
That means you ain't go through that ebook. Stop playing. That's
Yes,
right.
I've been through the ebook, but this right here, I didn't understand it.
So now, what you should be doing is, hold on. You telling me a 6 to 7 minute problem I can do in 30 seconds. Let me open that ebook and let me practice so I know how to do this. Because guess why? This is a guaranteed problem. They're going to give you 2 points and you got to figure out an equation. That's a guaranteed problem. Now, and this is what I mean by taking the time to go through the ebook, because I'm telling you, if you listen, especially for the hard problems, quadratic equations, system equations, linear equations, and storing a variable.
Not how to do that.
If you
Gotta
focus
do
on
that.
those areas, you should be fine. It'll get you right through most of the linear equation problems on the exam. And you be done. You're gonna pass and you're gonna call me up and be like, Mr. Tinsley, that was the best 1999 ever. $20. I can't even go out to dinner for $20. Right? Because of what happens when you get that diploma? A better job, that promotion, a higher wage. But a lot of people, I just got a text today. This man said, well, I'm going to read it to you directly. Hold on, let me open up my text. He said, hey, just wanted to say thank you. Life is great. I said, appreciate it. Glad to hear you're doing well. What's next? I started school for sheet metal so I can get my associate's degree. I said, wow, that's what I'm talking about. You just made my day. Thanks. He said, thank you. You're an amazing person. Look how fast. This was only like 3 weeks ago. He already see opportunities. He already jumped on, bam, I need to do this. This is why I'm trying to give you all the resources you can. You only got one spot you got to go. You don't have to pay for another practice test period. I got 10 of them. I got 10 of them. I got enough practice for each concept. And I'm working on the inequalities because somebody emailed me and made me realize I don't have a quiz for inequality. So I'm working on that. It should, I don't know if I finished it now. I think I got one more problem. So that should be up very soon.
Can we do a problem with a linear equation with inequality with two
A lot
variables?
of inequalities was on mine, a lot. About
Yeah,
4
really?
or 5. Lot of,
four or 5?
yes.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
Yes, and in the word one. You remember?
Wow. Let me see if I can find one. Oh, wow. I don't even think they had. Oh, wow. I don't even think they had none in this practice sheet. You know what? Let me just search for one on the internet real quick. Matter of fact, let me see if I think I made a whole new set for inequalities. Now, this is not live yet. Let me open up Schoology, right? Because I'm pretty sure, because my mind works, sometimes, my mind, I'm doing like 8 different things. I'm preparing my son in basketball. I'm working on a program at my job to help the youth. So I'm doing a lot. So don't blame it on my heart, blame it on my mind. But I think I created a new quiz for inequalities. I just don't know if I made it live yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the inequalities one and see, and we can do some problems from there. I didn't make it live yet, I don't think. Let me see. Come on, Jeremy. Come on. I hope what do I have here? Come on. Oh, I did make it live. Oh, I did make it live. Wonderful. See, I didn't even know I made it live. So let's do some inequalities real quick. And then I saw somebody put in the chat ordering fractions, decimals, and percents. So I'll do that in a minute. So let's go to a practice problem. Again, all this is free. It's not costing you anything. Bought that, it's not costing you a dime. I just need your time. That's all I need. I need your time. Hold on. Mr. Tinsley asked for it. Yo, look at this. Let me make this bigger. So this is a fairly easy one. So minus 16 greater than 8. That's too easy. I think that's a little bit too easy. Most people can do that. Matter of fact, let me go by just to make sure. So I'll show you an easy one first. Fairly easy. Very similar to how you solve a quadratic equation. So you subtract 6 from both sides. You get 2x
Yes, that's it.
greater than 16.
Yeah.
Divide by 2 on both sides.
Mr. Tinsley.
Right? That's easy, right? That's not too bad, right? Everybody should know how to do that, right? The problems that you're going to see on the GED is something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna give you, and I made some harder ones, but I'm gonna show you. So again, I'm gonna subtract 4. I got minus 2x is greater than minus 28. I got to divide both sides by -2. When I divide by that -2, what you got to realize is this inequality has to change. So greater than becomes less than. The second thing you have to notice that 2 negatives on the right side become a positive. Boom. That would be your answer. Okay. So now this is on Schoology. So you can take here's another one. Okay, this is some of the ones you can see that I made up. So you can prepare for inequalities. Look at that one. Let me do this one. Let me do this one. See, so minus 90. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Tells me do parentheses first. In the parentheses, there's nothing I can simplify. Multiplication comes next. So I know that number outside of parentheses, the distributive property. So I'm going to get greater than or equal to minus 5x. Minus 5 times minus 3, 2 negatives make a positive. If you notice, while I'm doing it, I am saying it out loud. While you're doing these different concepts, negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 3. 2 negatives, when you multiply together, make a positive. Keep saying it, because these are the small mistakes so many people make. Now, this question right here, you have to be ready for something like this, because this you're going to see. Minus 90 greater than or equal to minus 5x plus 15. Oh, I already wrote that already. I don't need to write it again. What do I need to do to solve for this? What's my next step? Can somebody tell me?
Yeah, move 15 from 15 minus 15 on both sides.
Minus 15 on both sides. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to get, what's that? Negative 105
Yes, and cancel 15.
greater than or equal to minus 5x, and the two 15s cancel. What is my next step?
Your next step is divide 105, negative 105 by negative 5x.
Nope.
5.
Remember,
5x by 105.
So remember the goal is to get the x by itself. So you're not starting on the left side. You're starting on the side wherever the variable is. So here, in order to get the x by itself, I need to get rid of that negative 5, because it says negative 5x. How can I get rid of that negative 5?
Divide by negative 5.
Divide by negative 5. Then whatever I do on the other side. Don't get caught up by just because usually the variable's on the left side. You have to understand where the variable is, and that tells you what you're going to decide. Now, what you got to remember is, because I divided by negative 5, this inequality must change. So the two negative 5s cancel, I get x. Two negatives positive, I get 21.
Mhm.
Hold on. So most people going to pick D. Wrong.
Why?
This is the mistake that people make right here. Because x less than or equal to 21 is not the same as 21 less than or equal to x. What you have to remember is, with inequality, your variable needs to be on the left side. That's different when you're solving an equation. Equation has an equal sign, so it does not matter which side your variable is on. But inequality, your variable must be on the left side. So I'm gonna switch the two values. So I'm gonna put x on the left, 21 on the right, and again I must switch my inequality. That's your answer. X greater than 21. Bam.
So, Mr. Taylor, you trying to tell us that the x always the variable always supposed to be on the left side?
Am I trying to tell you?
I'm saying you.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm not trying to tell you. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So what I like to do is, these are the common mistakes that people make. These small mistakes that people make that can help people pass the test. Almost everybody here got a 141, 142, 143. Tried it, and it's so frustrating. What I'm trying to identify is, with the ebook, with the calculator, and these small things, my YouTube videos, these small little mistakes right here. I heard people, wow. Why? Because now you won't make the mistake on exam.
So you're telling me that you can put this in the on the computer?
Can I use this on the calculator? Yes.
Yeah, can you use this problem and plug it in the calculator?
Yes, you can. You better check that ebook.
I did, but I really didn't understand. I don't understand how.
Okay, so when you're ready for your test, I'll show you.
Yes.
But the question is, can you plug this into your calculator? Yes, you can. Yes.
I don't
Yes,
Mr. Tinsley, come on.
I can
Yeah.
do it. I can do it, but
Show
I'm
us.
confused with because I would have did it the other way. I would have did it 21.
right.
The
So
first way.
the two reasons why you switch to inequality. If you multiply or divide by negative, so when you're trying to isolate the variable, when you're trying to get the variable by itself, if you multiply, divide by negative, switch to inequality. If the variable is on the right side, switch to inequality.
Switch
That's
it
the
back.
two.
Okay.
Those are the two reasons why you switch to inequality. In that case, in this example, let me hit undo. Let me hit undo. In this example, we switched to inequality twice. Why? Because first we divided by -5. We switched it. Then we switched it again because the variable was on the right. So in this case, we actually switched it twice. Again, on the GED, you're going to have to do either one or both of those. Either because you multiplied or divided by a negative, switch to inequality, or because the variable's on the right side. Every single GED equality I've seen, that's explicit. That means solve this inequality, not for the word problems, not for the word problems. Not for the word problems. On the word problems, there's fairly, let me see if I can find one. Do I have any? I don't think I have any word problems in inequality. So that's why, even though I posted this, I need to see, I only have 9 questions. So what I did was, even though I posted it and made it live, I still was adding to it. So let me try to find.
You got one with a graph to it too? Like the chart?
What do you mean?
Like with the full color circle, empty circle going in the direction negative, positive.
Oh, you mean the graphic? Okay.
Yeah. Is that on this too?
You talking about?
I haven't seen too many on the GED, but all you got to do is.
I had
They
it.
have them.
Oh, you
Yes,
have?
I
Oh,
got
really?
it. I
Greater
prepared
than,
my
less
graph.
than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure I start adding them. So X is greater than 21. So I'm going to start. This is 20. This is 21, right? So greater than or equal. If you have an equal sign, greater than equal, less than equal. If you have an equal sign, solid circle. Left, greater than is to the right. That's it. So all you got to remember, if you have equal sign, it's solid. Less than equal, greater than equal, solid circle. If it's less than or greater than, open circle. Less than, arrow to the left. Greater than, arrow to the right. Now, how do I remember that? That's the greater, I can't remember. Look at the arrow. It's telling you which way to go.
They also have them in word problems as well.
Right. The word problems are fairly easy. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find the word problems are fairly easy. You just got to be able to decipher what they're giving you. For example, let's see. Let's see. Right here. Right. And I think I did this example a couple weeks ago. This is fairly easy.
I got one like this, Mr. Tinsley.
Listen, fairly easy.
Yeah.
All you got to realize, a budget of $13.25. I can't spend more than $13.25. So I can't go over $13.35. It can't be A, can't be C. Right? Now, since 26 people in a meeting room is $27. What you got to remember is that $270 is a fixed cost. It's not going to change. It's not variable. So you're not going to have no variable connected to the 270. B, I'm done. Easy. So what I want you to do is read the question. They'll tell you more than or less than. That'll eliminate 2 choices right away. Every inequality word problem, you can get rid of choices right away. And because you said that, I'll make sure I'll get some more word problems inequality. Let me see if I have this. Let me see if I can use this book right here. Hold on for a second. Let me see. I've downloaded so many problems from so many different places. Sometimes I do this like every day, like every day, because I get a joy out of people passing this test. And remember, I told you I want to be at, I think I said 150. No, that's not it. What am I trying to open up here? What is going on here?
Tinsley, you know what was there too? A lot of scientific notation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So this is why you got to practice on each one of those sections that I have, because it's very important. You have to know. Let me see if I can find.
You got to show me how to do that one too, because I had on eBook. one of the answers I found, it says the population of one state and the population of New York State, and somehow I couldn't get the right answer
That's not the one I'm looking for.
in the ebook.
That's not the one I'm looking for. Yeah. All right, let's just go to my ebook. The first one was you said scientific notation.
Yeah, there was a problem in there with population.
How many? How about probability? How many probability questions were there?
I
I
didn't
got
have none.
two.
Two. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Two. Wow. All right. First of all, what you have to understand about scientific notation, all this is the powers of 10. And you got to have one digit in the ones place. That's it. So for example, so I go through how to do scientific notation. So make sure you go through that and how to go back and forth between normal mode. So you're gonna have practice problems. That's just computation. How do you change back and forth from standard form to scientific notation to standard form? Once you know that, you'll be able to do
Right there,
practice
right
problems.
there, right there.
So I
Number
know what
two.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
So number two.
yeah.
So the population of the US is 3.282 times 10 to the 8. And New York City has a population of 8.4 times 10 to the 6. What percent of the US lives in New York City? So first of all, identify what you know. I know the US has 3.2 times 10 to the 8. I know New York has a population of 8.4 times 10 to the 6. How do you find percent?
Multiply.
No. How do you find percent?
Over
Divide.
100. It's over 100. Divide.
Nope.
Divide.
Nope. So there are three equations or four equations you should know for percent problems. Percent equal part over whole. You have to know this like the back of your hand. If they're asking for a percent, you need to know part over whole.
Like the box method.
So now, what would be the part?
8.4.
8.4.
The 8.4 times 10 to the 6.
Right.
What would be the whole?
3.282 times.
So now, times 10 to the 8. Now, you're just going to use your calculator.
And divide it, yes.
And divide. That is, listen. But what you had to understand is, you see, what happens is when most people with math, they try to remember how to do a problem. You have to have the conceptual understanding that percent is part over whole. Anytime they ask you for a percent, it's part over whole most of the time. Only time it's not is if they're asking for percent change. Percent change is a little different. But if they're asking you for the percent, what is the percent of this? What is the percent of that? So what you were talking about, Earl, was what part? Where you take the percentage and multiply by the whole. That's different. So there's a percent, there's a part, there's a whole, and there's percent change. Those are the 4% types of problems you should know for the GED exam. So watch this. Now, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna divide. So I'm gonna hit ND, 8.4 times 10 to the 6 divided by 3.282. I put those crazy numbers because I wanted you to look, wow, I don't know how to do that. Well, it's easy. If you understand percent is part over whole, identify the part, identify the whole. Look at that. Stop playing. Change to a percent. So New York is 2.55% of the US population. Stop playing. Again, practice, practice, practice. When you go in school, go into that percent problems, I got so many part, whole, percent change. So you'll be able to identify that. The important part was identifying the type of problem it is. So what percent? I'm solving for percent, part over whole. What's my part? 8.4 times 10 to the 6. What's my whole? The entire US population, 3.282 times 10 to the 8. Bam. Got me?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. What's the let me see. Ordering fractions, decimals, percents. I'm just gonna make these up real quick. 3/4, 0.03, 0.007, 3.5%. And let's do one more fraction, 1/8. Okay. So again, they love telling you to order in fractions, percent, and decimals. Sometimes it's just decimals and percents. Sometimes it's just decimals. Sometimes it's just percents. Sometimes it's all three. My goal is to help you with all three. First of all, change them all to decimals. All of them. So if you know your common fractions, because this is one of the first 5. If you know your common fractions, what's 1/4 as a decimal?
1/4.
75.
1/4.
Yeah, 1/4. Yes. What is 1/4 as a decimal?
7.5.
20%. 25. I think it's
75, ain't it?
No, listen to what I'm asking you. What is 1/4 as a decimal?
25.
yeah.
0.5?
25.
0.25.
0.25.
0.25. So if 1/4 is 1.25, what's 3/4?
0.75.
0.75. So what we're going to do is change them all to decimals. So we got 0.75. That's already a decimal, 0.03. That's already a decimal, 0.07. What is 3.5% as a decimal?
0.35.
Nope.
Decimal.
0.035.
Yes. So remember, how many places do you have to move the decimal?
2 places.
2.
2 places. 1,
0.
2. So I got to put a what there?
0.
0. So 0.035. Not 3.5, 0.035. Because you got to move that decimal twice. And can anybody tell me what 1/8 is as a decimal?
125.
0.125. Now, if you notice, the last 3 numbers have 3 decimal places. The first 2 decimals only have 2 decimal places. Does everybody see what I'm talking about when I say the first 2 have 2 decimal places and the last 3 have 3 decimal places?
Yep.
Okay, so the second step I want you to do is make sure they all have the same amount of decimal places. To do that, you can add a 0. I'm gonna mute you, Brandy. I'm gonna add a 0 at the end of each decimal because it doesn't change the value. Right? So I'm gonna rewrite it. So I got 0.750, 0.030, 0.007, 0.035, 0.125. Now you look at them as regular numbers to put them in order, not for computation, just to put them in order. What's the smallest one?
0.007.
So that's first. What's next?
0.3. I mean 0.03.
That's second. What's third?
35. 3.5.
What's next?
1/8.
And what's last?
3/4.
Look at that. Look how easy it became to put fractions, decimal, percents in order. Changing the decimals, add zeros, and just look at the numbers. 7, 30, 35, 125, 750. Now I got good news and got bad news. Which one is that? Which one you want first?
Oh,
Bad
Lord.
news.
The bad news is even though class supposed to end at 7, I usually go past 7. Tonight, I can't. My Eagles on tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I got to get ready. I gotta get my Eagles shirt. I gotta get my Eagles hat, my Eagles socks on. I got to be ready. So I gotta go to my parents' house to go get my Eagle stuff. I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm sorry. I can't stay. I can't stay too much longer tonight. So we're gonna end on time tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Tesley,
Yes.
I just want to have a real quick conference with you. It's gonna be real quick after
Okay.
class. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Tesley. See you next
All
week.
right, thank you.
listen,
Thank you for
guys.
everything.
Congratulations, Claudette. Continue doing the practice exams, everybody. I'll try to get the feedback as soon as I can. If you had 142, 143, use your GED prescription, your GED score report to find out the sections that you're going to do in your ebook and what sections that you're going to practice on. Start with those first. Start with your weak areas first. Then go to the practice test to take the full test. Listen, you score 66 over 60 in my exam. Do a one-on-one with me. Let's go take this exam and knock it out.
All right.
Guys, you can do it. If I did, you can.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right.
I wish you all the best. Guys.
Congratulations. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Mr. Tinsley. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
I'll
You're
be in
welcome.
touch. Yes, bye.